enter the realm of KSBM Radio's creation. Student-led from inception to narration. Crafting content from dawn until dusk. All students involved in the work and the fuss. In the heart of Townview where voices reside. Student-led discussions where ideas collide. From interviews with leaders, peers, and businesses. Just watch us work, creating innovative content. Every aspect managed with student finesse. From podcast production to social media press. No task too daunting, no challenge too grand. KSBM Radio, we taking a stand. KSBM Radio, students leading the way. Every task idea, we seize the day. Witness now as all of our efforts break through. KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
I'm closer to the music.
Broadcasting live from Marvin E. Robinson School of Business and Management, Dallas, Texas.
My radio station.
We are KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview. I'm your host, Jade, and I'm here with my co-host,
Santi.
And today we'll be continuing the SBM 50 and TMC 30 Alumni Series. This series highlights graduates who once walked these halls and are now making a positive impact in their careers and communities. Our guest today is Mrs. Danielle Perkins, a proud graduate of the School of Business and Management, class of 1998. She is now a motivational speaker and entrepreneur who focuses on helping others recognize their value, building confidence, and find purpose. Mrs. Perkins, welcome back to Townview.
Hi,
We're
you
happy
all.
to have you here with us.
Yes,
Is there
ma'am.
anything to share before we begin?
I'm thankful. I am amazed. It makes me a little bit emotional to see the growth of the school. Being there the first year it was open, coming from the old BMC downtown Dallas on Pearl Street. I'm amazed. So congratulations, you all, for the growth.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started on the question. So our first question is, what led you to the School of Business and Management?
I was sitting with my counselor in middle school, and she told me, I don't want you to go to public school. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know. I was living in Pleasant Grove off of Lake June and Jim Miller. And so in a rough environment at the time. And so academically, I was definitely, focused, but the environment was the opposite, if that makes sense. And so she said, I don't want you to go to public school. I'm like, okay. So she gave me an application, and I went home and filled it out. Like, whatever, it's whatever. My home school was Samuel High School and Spruce. And so I filled it out, turned it in, and I got a letter in the mail the summer of 94. And I'm like, I didn't really get it. And so when I went to my first day at school there at Townview, at business actually, I was in awe. Like, what in the world am I doing? We had to wear suits and slacks and dress shoes. And I'm like, this is a bit different, right? But the standard and expectations, I appreciated it immediately.
And but you already mentioned a bit about wearing the suits and ties, but what else was part of that big environment and student culture there at BMC?
It was different. We didn't have any sports. In high school, you want to go to football games and have cheerleaders, and I ran track, so it was different. I couldn't run track at the school, so I had to run track for a different school. I had to be there on time. GPA had to be on point, but I was able to run for a different school. The environment was business. It was structured, very serious. There was no toleration of playing around. Your work had to be done at best. There was no wiggle room for error. And that could become a bit overwhelming for a 14-year-old than to be 18-year-old child. But I, again, appreciated the examples that were given to us, the standards that were given to us, the expectations, the care in it. Even though it was structured, it was care. You're lagging, but we're going to help you. You don't understand it, we're going to give it to you. Come to tutoring. Focus. get sleep, eat properly. Those things were given to us definitely behind all of the other foundational things that were there.
So, what cluster or area of study were you in during your time at SBM, and what led you to choose that?
With business,
Yes.
when I applied for the school, there was different options. You had talented and gifted, you had science and engineering, you had law, health, to name a few of them. Business just seemed to fit me because I always had the entrepreneurial thinking, the way of wanting to always do for self. Like, how can I get me and my family out the condition that we're in? So I was always trying to find remedies and ways to be able to adjust to not just the environment, not becoming a product of my environment, but ways to be able to get myself out of it was always on my mind. So it fit.
So, did you have any mentors or someone you looked up to during that time at BMC?
Yes. Miss Frazier was my accounting teacher. And I had Miss Frazier on B days, first period. And man, she was very gentle with me. And she knew I had a job. I had a job at Brahms, right? And so me coming to her on Monday, I was tired in class, super sleepy because I worked the night before. And I didn't get home till maybe 1 on Sundays. And so she was like, Miss Bush, I need you to stay awake in class. And I'm like, Miss Frazier, I'm tired. And so she would have coffee every morning in class. She would smell like coffee. And I'm like, I just can't, I'm tired. But she would always find ways, little notes to write me, stay awake. You can do this. It's going to be okay. It's not permanent. I'm like, oh my God, being a freshman was not easy. Being a sophomore was a little bit adjustable, but it still had kinks. But she was always there to help me when I was down and out mentally, emotionally. She always motivated me. And I cannot forget real quick, my principal, Miss Carrie Coy. Oh my gosh. She was the best person. Man, I mean, because I had her, interesting enough, I had her, my principal in middle school. And so me coming from New York, Miss Carrie and I built a different relationship in middle school. And so at high school, when I first seen Miss Carrie, you all, I was like, oh snap, I know her. And she get the class, she was very into the students. She would go in the hallways, ask you all, what do you need help with? Do you understand? You have any questions, concerns? Are you focused? She always was involved, not just in the office principal, but she was in come in the classroom and sit with the students during class, being very involved in our motion. And to this day, I love Miss Carrie Coy. Man.
You already mentioned that you had a job and you ran track. Were there any other important business SBM extracurriculars or programs that you were a part of during your time?
Yes. The year I was at Townview, we had what was called a massive gospel choir. And we would meet down in the common area every day after school. And the choir was directed by David Furrow. And we had over almost close to 100 members of the choir. It was called UVJ, Universal Voices of Joy. And we traveled to churches throughout the DFW area. We even went to Detroit one year, my senior year. We went to Chicago by bus. That was interesting. But the choir was definitely one of the things that helped motivate many of us Black students that were there at the school at the time. So definitely give kudos to Mr. David Furrow.
So, looking back, what is one lesson or mindset from SBM that has stayed with you and continues to influence how you move today?
As challenging as it was, I always had in my mind, I'm here for a reason. I knew that being a new school, there was expectations. But I knew for me, I could not go backwards. And having so many goals to accomplish for myself, This is the opportunity that many children wish they could have. To apply for a school, get accepted to a school. Out of all applications, you chose my application. So it drove me to never give up. Because it's easy for me to give up and somebody else can be in my seat. Easy. But I won't allow it.
And now you're a motivational speaker and entrepreneur. What does your look like? What does your work look like day to day, and what inspires you to keep going?
Yes, sir. I have a nonprofit organization called Silent Crimes with a Z. And Silent Crimes Network is a nonprofit that deals with girls and women who have been sex trafficked in the DFW area and across the world. We deal with women who are being rescued, trying to get out of the environment they're in. According to statistics, Dallas is number 2 in the state of Texas for trafficking. Every 3 minutes, a girl is being snatched for trafficking in our neighborhoods. Domestic abuse is primary too. We deal with women who have been abused, children who have been abused verbally and physically, and we help to bring healing to molestation. Girls who have been molested, haven't told anybody, now they're comfortable enough to talk about it. So with doing that work, my phone rings all day, unfortunately, to be able to bring resources to women and girls across the DFW area. So I get phone calls from hospitals. I get phone calls from churches, different organizations that need help with getting back on their feet from a situation to getting away from their attacker. How do we do that? We got to make accommodations to get hotel rooms for them, pay for flights, bus tickets, rental cars, to be able to get them back to a safe place. So my day is pretty busy.
And how did you find yourself building Silent Crimes?
I was doing a community event 7 years ago, and the young lady was telling me that her mother and her had been trafficked. I never heard of it before. You see it on movies, right? But you don't really think it's real happening in your own neighborhoods. So as I was talking to her mother, I began to collect information, and from there I started researching on how common it's happening in our neighborhoods. Oak Cliff is one of the number 1 places that it happens to the most. Bonneview, Lancaster, Ledbetter. It's like, wow, you just don't think of that. So that's what got going the motion, and to be able to see what needs to be done in it, that helped to motivate and build the foundation.
So, what were some challenges when you began this project?
Challenges that occurred for us was definitely the networking. To get people to trust you. To be out there in the streets where they are, being seen consistently. One thing that we have to understand, a lot of times in our communities, we don't see consistency. People start something and they go about it. About a good 3-4 months, they stop coming. Feeding the homeless, going to community centers to help out with the children. To me, we have a tendency of giving children an iPad and walking away. No. They want the attention. They want the care. So what does that look like? That means once I start it, I have to finish it. I'm responsible. So being that we go to move and keep going and driving the idea to get people safe. We don't want anyone to be without their mother and father or their husbands and their children. So what does that look like? That means consistency in the matter of the nonprofit.
And that shows a lot of community and purpose. So why are those values important in the way you lead and support others?
Why I do what? What's the last part?
How are those values important in the way you lead and support others?
I take the mindset, if I don't do it, who will? Even though there's people out there who I know will do it, right? But if I don't do what I have been charged with doing, everybody's mindsets are different. Everyone's hearts are different. But to to the way it makes me feel uneasy. So me having children, I would hate for me to feel, not hate, but it's unfortunate that the women who have lost their daughters in trafficking and the fathers who have lost their daughters in trafficking, I want to be able to minimize the pain, if that makes sense.
Yes. So, you connect with many different people through your work. What have you learned about people and about yourself in the process?
I'm an introvert. I'd rather be at home doing nothing. I'm a reader. I like books. I like watching documentaries. My family teases me. I like history documentaries, War 3, documentations, being able to see what that looked like to have a World War 3. We did World War 1 and 2. Like, what would 3 look like? They're like, Mom, why does it matter? I just want to know, One of my classes I had at Townview was world geography, Mr. Dreyer. And I love world geography. To be able to have this big planet that we sit on every day. We only have this much space on the planet, but it's a big world, right? Like, wow. So I like to be able to be by myself, but I know that the world needs me in a sense, right? It would be selfish of me to sit at home all day and watch documentaries when I've been given a talent or a skill that I gained from BMC, not to be ashamed of who I am. I'm not like everybody else. I will never be like everyone else. And it's okay. So I can't be in my little hole of Danielle's world, but I have to be able to shine and give everybody else what they deserve, which is what I have. And you all have too. Everybody has their own. It's just my lane is a little different. Yeah.
It's very inspiring to see you stepping out and trying to change the world. But how do you find balance between your work, your goals, and your personal life?
My family. Just the balance my children bring to me, my husband brings to me. Mom, relax. Cut the computer off. Don't answer that phone call. It's like, you spoke Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like Friday, just give some time for yourself. And I think that having that cornerstone of balance in my family helps me tremendously to not be drowned into my work and be consumed with what I do. My family definitely is that for me.
So as you look ahead, what is something you are excited to continue building or expanding in your work?
So the goal is, one of my goals, I want to be able to establish locations in the DFW area, centers for women and girls to come and, of course, get resources, build their resumes, apply for birth certificates, social security cards. Many of them have lost that in the trafficking. They have no identity. So GED opportunities. I want to be able to teach them, as I was taught at BMC, how to go on an interview. What colors do you wear when you go to an interview? You wear blue or you wear black, right? You don't go on an interview like this. No. Don't wear too much perfume. Don't wear flashy nails. Don't wear too much makeup. Just you want to go in there business. You want to go in there already giving yourself an opportunity to make it happen for yourself. But don't go drown the room with cologne and perfume like you done drank the cologne or you done drank the perfume. Don't do that. So, I want to have a center that's going to help women and girls to be able to know how to go on an interview, how to type. Many people can't type by touch. At BMC, we learn how to do that by touch. To be able to learn how to cook, how to sew, how to raise their children in the center. So the goal is to be able to have different locations throughout the DFW area. They can come to us for that safe haven location and be able to learn at the same time.
Students today often feel pressure to have everything figured out. What advice would you give to a Townview student who's unsure about their future
Ha!
right now?
My goal was for me to go to law school and become Miss Dr. Danielle Bush in my head, right? And so my whole life I'm thinking I'm going to be this person. And so going to college, I went to Paul Quinn and graduated from there. I pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha at Paul Quinn as well, Incorporated. And I began to start moving like, I don't think I want to do this. I don't know. Mind you, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars in college. But I'm like, it's good. It's needed. But I don't want to do this anymore. And so originally, when I went to college, I wanted to go to school for social working. My father wanted me to go to school for something different. So I was living his dream and not mine. So I have an associate's degree from DeVry I don't use. Right? So I went to Paul Quinn, started my journey, stopped. And as I began to start thinking about my life and what I really want to do, I began to realize I like being a helper in the community, feeding the homeless once a month, giving people opportunities through in between that can help them change their life. So I would say to anybody who can hear the sound of my voice, do what's best for you. Take a deep breath. Life is not going to be peaches and cream every day. It's not going to be easy. But in those moments where you come to a point where you feel like you're going to break, breathe. Take a big exhale. If you want to cry, if you want to scream, if you want to get a pillow and just scream as loud as you can, it's okay. If you want to go in the closet and cry, cry. But no one can live your life for you but you. At the end of the day, when the shuffle gets through moving and the dust settles, it's you against the world. And you want to be comfortable in the skin that you're in, not something that someone's made for you. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. We're now going to move on to our signature question, which is, if you could go back and give your high school self advice, what would you say?
Laugh. For me, I beat myself up a lot. Not physically, of course. But I was so hard on myself. It's okay to get an 85 on the test, Danielle. It's okay. Okay, you made a 78 on the test. Oh my gosh. Okay, you still passed. It's okay. Not to put so much on myself. Because I did that. I forced myself to not be average. That's not fair for me. So I definitely would say to myself, Danielle, don't be so hard on yourself. It was, and real quick, I'm about to cut you off, but being there at the very first year the Townview opened, there was pressure. This big old school, like, wow. People coming from China and different countries to come tour the school. They were like, whoa, y'all got the new technology, the new building. Y'all had levels. It was an opportunity I would not trade for the world. But in that, definitely, you have to have balance. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Perkins. Thank you for returning to Townview and sharing your story with us today. Hearing from someone who once sat in these same classrooms reminds us the experiences that we hear can shape our lives.
Man.
Your journey shows the power of knowing who you are, believing in your purpose, and staying connected to your community. To everyone listening, thank you for joining us for SBM 50 and TMC 30 Alumni Series. We will continue sharing the stories of graduates who come back to us inspiring the next generation. This has been KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview. We will see you next episode. Stay awesome.
You have a good day.
Thank you
for listening to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
My radio station.
We hope you enjoyed the great content and great discussion, all from a student's perspective. Make sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest updates at KSBM_TVT or on Facebook at KSBM Radio.
Add them on Facebook.
Check them on Facebook.
Take care.